Good afternoon, fellow reefers. This is Eddie of Eddie's Reef Aquarium. Today's video is a little different type of video. On today's video, I was challenged by Sweetie Reef in reference to the Aquarium Tuber tag challenge. He went ahead, he tagged me, and I really do want to thank him for tagging me on this event. It's simply a series of 9 questions which they have been imposed to me to answer, and then at the end I have the liberty to select 3 other channels for me to also tag the challenge. Okay, so we're going to start with question number 1. Fish tank only or reef? Well, definitely I would say a reef tank. Although when I started into the saltwater, I started with a regular fish tank, what they called at that time a community tank, where you would have all different types of diverse fish and dead corals as ornaments. But definitely I do like the reef tanks, because there it shows really the beauty and the diverse of the ocean life of the reefs. Question number 2 is soft or hard corals. Well, as you see on my nanocube, my 9-gallon nanocube, the majority are softies and of course LPS. On the top, you'll notice that I have a few SPS. When it comes to SPS, the hard corals, although my parameters are in check, I have the proper water flow and proper lighting, hard corals are more delicate. So if anything goes wrong, like the feeding of them or your pH goes down or something, or your nitrates, they can start to bleach and you would lose them. So you really need more dedication on them, and you really need to have your parameters on check, although I do that on this tank. Okay, then we go to question 3. What's my favorite coral? Definitely Fiji yellow leather. They're hard to get. But hopefully on the Innovative Marine Nouveau 40, I'll be able to acquire one of them. Question number 4 is, what's my favorite fish? Definitely a hippo tang, a blue tang. I like them because of the coloration and their swimming characteristics. Then we go to question number 5. What's my least favorite coral? Well, the xenia. I say least favorite, and it's simply because, not that I don't like them, but it's least favorite because they grow like weeds. And then to get them under control, you have to be propagating and propagating. They get all over the place. So I would say the xenia is my least favorite coral. Then we go to question number 6, which is, what is my least favorite fish? Well, definitely the damsels. Very territorial. I've had them in different combination of ways. I've had them, first of all, to create the bioload, where I've put damsels. They are very, very hardy. But then when you start introducing the corals and you start to introduce other fish, it becomes a hassle. Then you have to fish them out, tear down the tank and all that. And I have had damsels already in an established tank with fish. You put them in, and the same problem eventually will happen. They start to attack because they're very territorial. Okay, and then we go to question number 7. Homemade or commercial food? Definitely, I personally will go to commercial foods. Why? Because they are made by scientists and people that actually know this hobby and what the fish, each species of fish need. And when it comes to corals, the same thing. So I definitely do rely on commercial foods. And then question number 8 is LED, T5s or metal highlights. Well, I've had them all, to be honest with you. But at the present time, with the technology going up in different generations and generations, I definitely would say the LEDs. This is what I have here. I have a Mass Spec Nano. I'm very content with it, very happy. It's controllable. It produces much more less heat than the T5s, and definitely less heat than the metal highlights. And when it comes to consumption to your electricity, they're much more economical and last much longer than either the T5 bulbs or the metal highlight bulbs. And then the final question is number 9, which is, what would be my dream tank? Wow, that's a good one. Well, my dream tank, definitely, I don't know if I'll ever be able to acquire this type of tank. But my dream tank definitely would be either a 400 or a 500 gallon tank. Why do I say this? Well, simply because this type of tank, when you're talking about that type of gallons of water, you're talking about 8 feet or 10 feet long tanks. So that being said, the diversity of animals that you can put in is incredible. Like for instance, right here, I cannot even think of putting a hippo tank. 40, on the 40 gallon, I might try it, but I'll eventually have to fish it out because those fish are heavy swimmers, like the nasal tanks and these other types of fish. So if I had a bigger tank, I could, I mean, it doesn't have to be a 400 or 500 gallon tank to have let's say a hippo tank, but the bigger the better is one of the rules here in this hobby. But being that big of a tank, 400 or 500 gallon tank, then you can have everything that you can dream of and that your pocket can take you to. And then, well, that's basically it. I do want to thank you, and I want to thank Sweetie Reef for tagging me along, and I do want to give a shout out for him. He's got an excellent tank when it comes to this hobby. And I thought I mentioned 2 other people, Aquarium Tubers. Those are the ones that started to generate this type of challenges. And I do thank him for all the help that I have gotten from them, you know, when it comes to building up my subscribers. And also, and definitely, Psychedelic Baby. She's very devoted to this hobby. She's very devoted to the channel in general. Every time I go and check out the YouTubes, there she is. Putting videos and videos. She's very informative. She has a bunch of contests, always involved, and I definitely do give a shout out to all these 3. And so what I finally do want to say is 3 other channels that I would like to take part in the Aquarium Tuber Tag Challenge. I have elected to being the JaYoe Nation channel. The second one would be Inappropriate Reefer. And the third one that I've elected is Steve Diaz. And these are the 3 that I'm challenging to and tagging on to do the same thing that me and other reefers have done. This was my first tag. I hope it came out pretty well. And like I always say at the end of all of my videos, happy reefing. Thank you. Bye-bye.